My name is Maren Castellano. I am 31 years old, and the night my family tried to take back the future my grandfather built for me is the night I finally understood what I was worth to them. When I was 22, fresh into my first year of graduate school in Chicago, my parents called me home to Milwaukee under the pretense of a birthday dinner, only to inform me over dessert that they intended to redirect my trust fund of $106,000 to my younger brother Desmond, whose startup had just collapsed and whose landlord was threatening eviction. My mother folded her napkin with theatrical calm and said the words I would replay for years afterward. "You've always landed on your feet. Maren, and Desmond simply hasn't had your luck." As though luck, and not 2 decades of quietly absorbing every family shortfall, was the reason I had nothing handed to me twice. My father nodded along without meeting my eyes and added that a graduate stipend should be more than enough for someone as resourceful as me, while my brother stared at his plate and never once told them to stop. I said only one word that night, "Understood," and excused myself to the guest bedroom where I had grown up, carrying with me the quiet certainty that I had already spent the previous month preparing for exactly this moment. 7 weeks earlier, the instant I turned 21, and the trust converted from custodial control to my own signature authority under Wisconsin law. I had changed every password, enabled login alerts tied only to my phone, and moved the account to a new institution my parents had never heard of. At exactly 9:14 that evening, my phone buzzed with a security notification reading, "Login attempt denied, unrecognized device." And I lay perfectly still on the old comforter listening to my father's footsteps pace faster across the hallway downstairs. I heard him mutter to my mother that the account website must be malfunctioning, heard her sharp reply asking if he was certain he had the right login, and heard the particular silence that falls over a house when 2 people realize a plan has already failed before they finished building it. He called my name up the staircase with a voice stripped of its earlier warmth, and I walked down holding the manila envelope I had assembled and rehearsed for exactly this confrontation. My grandfather Otto's notarized letter stating the funds were designated solely for my education, a printed copy of the state statute governing trust conversion at majority, and a bank confirmation showing the transfer I had completed weeks before they ever sat me down at that table. My mother's face went the color of old paper as she whispered that I had planned this, and I told her plainly that I had simply stopped waiting to be blindsided, because a person can only be surprised by the same betrayal so many times before she starts building walls instead of hope. That dinner was never the beginning, only the moment the pattern finally surfaced where I could name it, because I had spent my whole childhood watching money move quietly toward my brother while mine evaporated without explanation. There was the $4,000 that vanished after his motorcycle accident when I was 10, the $17,000 that disappeared when he dropped out of his first university after 2 semesters, and the college savings my parents told me didn't exist the same autumn they helped him make a down payment on a car. Each theft small enough to explain away, and large enough that I started keeping records nobody knew about. I built my own life anyway, working 2 campus jobs through undergrad, while my brother lived rent-free at home receiving an allowance. And by the time I sat across from my parents in that Milwaukee dining room, I had already spoken with my grandfather's estate attorney and understood exactly how many of those old withdrawals had violated the terms he'd written into the trust. When I finally laid that documentation on the table beside my grandfather's letter, my father's bravado collapsed into stammering, and my mother reached for my hand with the same practiced warmth she'd used my entire life, except this time I let her hold it without holding back. I finished my graduate program, built a career in financial law representing young adults whose families had tried to seize inheritances meant only for them, and learned that the clearest gift I ever gave myself was the boundary I built in that guest bedroom at 22. My grandfather's letter now hangs framed above my desk as a reminder that protecting yourself was never about cruelty or revenge, but about refusing to let the people who were supposed to love you first also be the ones who taught you that you came last. If this story moved you, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.